Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is a past episode taken from my podcast. I'm slowly moving my entire episode library to YouTube. Now, just as a heads up, there's no editing on these. You may hear me out of breath, traffic going by, and occasionally me tripping. It's literally just me talking in my phone while I'm walking around my neighborhood at night like a crazy person. Wonder what the neighbors think of that. Anyway, the episode info can be found in the description. With all that said, enjoy the show. Thank you so much for listening. Please like and subscribe. What's up, everybody? This is Tanner from TammanBaseballFan.com. I am actually not on a walk tonight, so this is going to be a first because I'm actually broadcasting from the couch in my living room while I'm watching Game 4 of the ALCS. It is going into the ninth inning. And the Astros are doing really, really well. As a matter of fact, I thought for a while, this whole day with Tanaka and Greinke on the mound, I thought that the Yankees were going to get the best of them. But it looks like that's probably not going to be the case. And while I was watching, it's actually in a commercial right now. While I was watching, I figured I'd throw up a little bit of a recording here to keep my streak alive. I think this is probably the fifth or so day that I've done one of these, and I'm just having a blast doing it. So figured why not? And so while I'm watching this, actually before I get into that, I had a couple other messages. First of all, the one question somebody wanted to ask me about, they said, "Hey, Tanner, you're talking about church a few times. What's that about?" So to expand on that, my family and I were Christians. We are followers of Jesus, and I don't want to come across as somebody that is just a Christian in name, like one of those Republicans that hate everything that's not Republican or whatever. That's not what we're about. We're about following what the Bible says, and which a lot of it is, basically glorifying God and doing what the Bible says. And so that's kind of really what we're about. Loving your neighbor, that sort of thing, doing good for others, and everything goes with it. So, not interested in Bible bashing or anything, but that question did come up, and I wanted to answer it because I figure if one person asked, then probably several were wondering the same thing. So going forward, it was asked also what my eBay account is, and it is TNH Jones. And y'all, I can't believe it. Ninth inning, Altuve hit a ball between second and third, and took a bad hop again. I don't know what is going on with the Yankees infield here, but that's like the fourth error of the game. This is crazy. Bregman even made an error, and he never really does. So it's kind of crazy. But anyways, so as I was watching this game, I started thinking about my life and how I've had very few constants in my life. And what I mean by that is, growing up, I moved around a lot. I mean, we're talking over a dozen times when I was a kid, up till the time I was 16 or 17 years old. So I've lived in California, Nevada, Kansas, Texas. And a lot of the reasons why we were moved around is because of my dad's health. He's always had health problems. And, it was really sad to see, but, I got a lot of life experiences that I wouldn't have had I stayed in one spot. That's for sure. But as a result, though, also it made me, not have the most stable of times growing up. So I had a mom and dad that loved me and did provide a stable childhood as much as they could. So I'm very thankful for that. But anyways, the one thing that as I'm watching this baseball game, that just really struck me, and I'm just so thankful for the sport, is one constant has always been there for me is baseball. And aside from the 94 lockout, the players have changed, and I'm looking at Michael Brantley up to bat right now, and Jose Altuve's on second because of that error I was telling you about. a lot of these guys weren't even born when I first got into baseball, which is kind of tripping me out here. I think that's the case, anyways. I might want to look up how old some of these guys are, but it'll probably be pretty close. And it's kind of nutty to think that, but regardless, it's still the same game, and it's fun to be able to go back to this and to enjoy this game that's nearly the same as it was when I was 9 years old. 30 years later now, and it's so enjoyable. And I'm unfortunately in a household where nobody else really likes watching this. It's just me, and whenever game's on, it's eyes are rolling over here, and that's okay though. I don't expect everybody to like what I like, but it's fun, and I just enjoy this game so much, and especially postseason, especially if there's a team that I love watching in the postseason. And there we go. There's a wild pitch, and so Altuve's on third. So crazy. This is so nutty. I can't believe that this is happening. I think the rain from last night was really messing with the with the field or something. But anyways, to kind of take this a step forward, to go and talk about baseball cards a little bit, which is fun for me also, is to get a little bit more skin in the game, so to speak. What I did is I've invested in certain Astros cards earlier on this year, just because I had a feeling that they're going to do really, really, really well. And Brantley drops in a single, and Altuve scores, so now it's 8-3. That's awesome, love it. But anyways, I picked up some rookies of Correa, Bregman, Springer, Verlander, Altuve, and a couple other special cards as well. And it's just so much fun. It adds another dimension. Like when you see Carlos Correa coming up to bat and hitting a home run, and there's just something in the back of your mind. It's like, cool. I have a nice rookie of his. I've got bat barrel of his. I've got a couple jumbo hat relics of his. I don't know why. It's just a fun thing to think, hey, that's neat. That guy that's up to bat right now. I have a big piece of hat that was on his head at some point in the game. And I also have a nameplate barrel chunk in a card that might have been from a bat that hit a home run, and I'm seeing him on my screen right now. So it's kind of fun. It just adds that personal connection, I think, to the game that goes even further. Which obviously when we talk about game use cards, that used to be a really hot thing. If you remember, like 10 years ago or something, everybody loved it, and I really kind of bought and sold those for profit for a long time, but I was so desensitized to them, like I'm sure many of you are as well at this point. But nevertheless, whenever you really think about it, they really are cool cards. But back when I was really kind of buying and selling them, I just remember I would always try to pay like 75 cents a piece in bulk, only because I knew I could get at least $1.25 each out of them. So, if I was making 50 cents per card off of them, I knew if I had 100 of them, then I can make $50 off of it, that sort of thing. So it was kind of easy to move them at that point. Nowadays, I don't think it is, but it's just I haven't bought them in bulk in a while. But it was something I picked up as a skill during the time that they were selling really well. And not really well, but like they were selling consistently, at least for $1.25 or so each. Nowadays, I think the ones they'll sell are the ones that have like meaningfulness to people. And like I said, with the Correas that I have, they have special meaning to me. The Jose Canseco cards that I decided to keep, they have special meaning to me. And it's fun to be able to own something that's a part of the game, that came from somebody that was wearing that in a game that maybe we've watched. And maybe you go to MLB.com and can check the archives. And I actually just ended up buying a Kyle Seeger Super Collection a few months back, and I flipped it, which was really fun. I really enjoyed that because the cards were beautiful, and I was able to make quite a bit of money off of it doing that myself from Kyle Seeger. And but one of the cards was a jumbo patch that said 40th anniversary or something. I was able to look up the actual video of a game that he was wearing that specific patch in, and had a video of him hitting a home run while wearing it. I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. So I think that a lot of these card companies are doing a fantastic job at bringing us closer to the game, even with Topps Now, for instance. I mean, gosh, I never thought in a million years that we would be in a position to have something really cool happening in a game, and then the next day, Topps offers a card for that specific event. So, game two, I think it was, Correa hits a game-winning home run. I think it was game two in the LCS, game two, game three, and yeah, it was game two, I believe. And sure enough, the next day, you can have a card about it. I mean, it's just the greatest thing ever. And I, I remember, back when I was a kid. I mean, when when we celebrated Nolan Ryan with his 5,000 strikeouts or whatever, I think that happened in '89. We didn't really have anything until the next year when Topps celebrated with that little 5,000K subset. So, it's completely different. So I think the further we get along into this hobby, the more things that people are going to be doing, the card companies are going to be doing to try to get us closer and closer to the game. And, so for instance, Topps also offers the Transcendent VIP party for whoever lands the golden ticket or whatever it is. And for those of you who don't know what it is, they've had this really cool thing. First of all, the Transcendent boxes, if I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, I feel like they were like $20,000 a box or $40,000 a box. I don't know what it was, but it reminds me of that commercial with that Russian guy that has the little baby giraffe in his lap, and he says, "Opulence, I has it." who would buy a $20,000 or $40,000 box of baseball cards? I don't know, but there are people that do, and there are people that do really well with them also. So I'm not saying anything negative whatsoever about those that make those purchases, but nevertheless, every now and then in some of those boxes, there'll be something like a golden ticket that you can actually be invited to a party that Topps throws. And it's like a dinner, and then you have like these exclusive low numbered buyback cards or one of one cards or transcendent VIP cards. And it seems like a real high end event. And you have a meet and greet with whichever baseball player that's hot at the moment, or some hero from the past. And I think they've had like Mike Trout in the past, and maybe Derek Jeter or Willie Mays or something. I mean, they've only done it a couple times before, if I remember correctly, and it was just really, really amazing to me. I remember seeing pictures of this going, holy cow, how neat of a situation to be in to do something like this. And so I think that's just another way that Topps tries to get us closer into the game and closer to the players. So I do think that they're doing a good job with that. Of course, they also have the digital cards, and I wrote an article about this like probably 3 or 4 years ago, I think, about digital cards, because I didn't really understand them. After I researched them, I finally understood what the allure was, but I don't remember anymore. I completely forgot what it was, but that was really appealing. But anyways, nevertheless, there are a lot of people that collect these digital cards. So, you have this like little collection on your phone nowadays, and it's kind of neat to see how this hobby has evolved. And by the way, I'm going to talk a little bit about just kind of as a little bit of a rabbit trail here. Something that happened tonight is, I'm not sure if you've been following it or not, but PWCC started up an auction for a 1996 Select certified Mirror Gold Derek Jeter. That's a PSA 10. And so this started probably about 10 days ago or so, and I've been looking forward to seeing what the end price was. And people were thinking, okay, is this going to end at $40,000 or $50,000? And the 1993 SP Derek Jeter rookie in PSA 10 format sold for just a little under $100,000. So as you know, there's been a lot of different scandals that have gone on over the past few months about PWCC and grading in general. People speculated maybe this card wouldn't go as high, even though it's rare. It's still, it's still a Derek Jeter card, and it's a mirror gold. And I think a lot of people vastly underestimate what the 96 Select Certified Mirror Gold can do. Basically any card. And I got a taste of that, of what they could do earlier this year. I mean, there were cards that were, not even major stars that were going for several hundred or even a few $1,000s. So people were guessing, they're estimating how much they thought this 96 year is going to go for. Some said 40,000, 50,000. Some even ventured to say it would match the price of the 93 SP PSA 10, which was about $100,000. I ventured to say it was going to surpass it, and it was going to go to $125,000. A lot of people thought I was insane, but I put it on record there, 125 grand. I think that's what it's going to go to. Turns out tonight it sold for over $202,000. You think about that. I mean, that's amazing. And somebody on Facebook, because I post on Facebook and Twitter and everything, because I'm loud like that. Some guy goes, "Oh my gosh, for $202,000, you should be able to take the guy out to Disneyland and spend the day with him." And my response was like, "But yeah, you wouldn't get the 96 Select Certified Mirror Gold card." And it's funny because a lot of people might value the time with the player more, but others might just value the cards more. And I remember when I was going to Canseco's house, I was on my way over there back in 2015. I remember missing out on a couple auctions while I was en route to his house and being upset about it. And I even had to step back for a second and think, why on earth do I care about missing out on buying a few pieces of cardboard with this man's picture on them when I'm actually going to spend time with him at his house? But nevertheless, I still remember, what I missed and everything. And so I'm still, wish that I didn't miss him. But, it's kind of funny. It's, as one of my good dealer friends would call it, it's cardboard crack. And it's addicting. It's baseball cards are things that we love, and some people are more about experiences, other people are more about actually having things. And I don't know, I'm just a cardboard crack addict, I guess. But anyways, it's kind of fun. But anyways, going back to what we were talking about before, just the connection to the game. And I think a lot of you out there listening are the same way. You watch a game, and it might be the only constant in your life as well, perhaps. And it might have been this way for decades and decades and decades. And it's fun that we all have this commonality of this game that we love so much, and that we have these little 2.5 inch by 3.5 inch trinkets that we can remember our favorite moments by, or our favorite players, or everything. I mean, it's just it's fun. It's fun to be able to have cards that represent who we see on television and all that. So, and I would even argue to say that you don't have to have cards with pieces of game used jersey in them to really feel closer to the game, because in my opinion, some of these cards, especially the older ones, they themselves become the relics to an extent, if that makes sense. I'm not really sure if I can fully articulate what I'm trying to say, but I guess I'll give you an example. You can have some Babe Ruth cards are put out by Leaf or Panini or Topps or whatever, and there could be like a cut autograph of Babe Ruth, or there could be a piece of his jersey or bat, and I think they're really cool. But for me personally, I would rather have a 1933 Gaudy Babe Ruth than a new card with his cut signature or piece of his jersey or piece of his bat. Because in some respect, there's something about having a new card that was built to be valuable and very intentionally so, where they take these other pieces of old memorabilia that were relics and cut them up and put them in this new card. Again, I love those cards. I think they're great. But having instead a card that was circulating around the time when he actually was the man and he was the home run king and the best of the best, and he still obviously is the face of baseball. But to me, that makes the card, the 1933 Gaudy card, so much more intriguing of being able to own than one of these cut autograph cards or jersey cards of him. I don't know if anybody else believes that, like I do, but that's kind of where I stand. And I'll give you kind of a little bit of a segue into one card that I picked up recently, which I'm really excited about, and it's something that I've been looking for quite a while, and it just came in a few days ago. It's a 1919 W514 Shoeless Joe Jackson, and I'm so pumped about finally being able to own it. The significance of this card is that, not that it's the most expensive card of Shoeless Joe Jackson, because it's not. You have the 1910 E91 that's considered to be his rookie. You also have the 1914 and 1915 Cracker Jack that's more expensive and more well known. But the E91, E90-1 shows him as a member of Philadelphia. The Cracker Jack shows him as a member of Cleveland. There are a few other cards he has as well. The W514 is very intriguing to me because it is from 1919, which is the year of the infamous Black Sox scandal, and it shows him as a White Sox member. So, to me, having that card is like an incredibly wonderful relic that gives me a connection to perhaps the biggest scandal ever to hit Major League Baseball. And the fun thing about it also was, and I can't believe I got this, like after I acquired the card, it wasn't until after I acquired it that I realized this. I checked the date, and it turned out that I had made the purchase 100 years after the last game of the 1919 World Series to the day. And I'm still blown away by that. So, and I believe in another podcast I talked about this before, how it is so fun to have stories in about certain baseball cards, and how you pick them up, why they came into your collection, how they came into your collection, and any sort of significance whatsoever. So for this card, to me, it's not just because it's Shoeless Joe Jackson's only 1919 baseball card. It's also because of when it was purchased, was the 100th anniversary of the last day of the 1919 World Series to the day. I mean, that still blows me away. So it's fun. It really is fun to think of it like that. But to me, that's a relic. That is a relic that's just as important as any new Shoeless Joe Jackson card that might have a bat or piece jersey. And in my opinion, it's way more important than those because, again, it was made during a time when it was not meant to be valuable. It was something that was collectible, that people loved, and just for the sheer love of the game and the players. And it's kind of cool to know also, by the way, it's as I said, it's a W514. and that's considered a strip card. So the way that you get these is you would actually go to like a candy store, and these cards would be in strips in a roll. And so what would happen was the candy retailer would pull off one of them and cut them for you and give them out like that. So they're very reminiscent of, almost like they almost look like mini Picassos, if that makes sense. So, if you check my Twitter at TammanBBFan, you can see a picture. They posted it up like, I think yesterday or the day before. So I'm always posting things all the time. So feel free to follow me and, reach out. But anyway, so yeah, I guess that's really kind of all I have to say. I mean, there's no real direction, I don't think, in this one. I just wanted to kind of blab a little bit about baseball and baseball cards. And like I said, I'm just, kind of watching the game right now. It's the bottom of the ninth, and two outs, and it looks like the Astros are well on their way to having won 3 games out of 4, and really excited about that because they have one more. They have one more to win, and in order to do that, I think all they have to do is win with Justin Verlander on the mound or Garrett Cole on the mound, which sounds like a like quite a possibility that it's almost an insurmountable problem for New York at this point, I guess, if the Astros do shut them down in this game here. So pretty excited, looking forward to finishing up this series, and also looking forward to seeing the Astros, hopefully, knock on wood, play against the Washington Nationals in the World Series. A little nervous about them because they've got some fantastic pitching, especially as evidenced against the Cardinals. I mean, that was nuts. But in the end, even if this series with the Yankees goes 7 games, I love this stuff. I mean, I would rather several nail-biting games than a sweep or anything like that, because it's just extra baseball, and nobody wants to go through through the winter without any baseball and everything. So I know it's a sad fact of life, but it's fun to get as many games in as possible. So this is fun. It's been a really, really fun fall, really, really fun postseason. I've enjoyed the heck out of it so far, and just remembering or learning more about these players as we're going on other teams and everything too, and making kind of more of a personal connection with all these Astro players as well. So looks like we're down to the last strike here, so I will go ahead and wrap up. Like I said, hit me up on Twitter at TanmanBBFan, and Facebook Tanner Jones, email tanmanbaseballfan@gmail.com. My website address is tanmanbaseballfan.com, and feel free to reach out to me, ask questions. I'd be happy to answer them online here on the next podcast if you have any questions for me, or if you have any ideas about upcoming or about topics that you want me to talk about in the future as well. I would love to hear suggestions. Thanks, guys, for listening. I hope you all have a great day. I was going to cut off there. I didn't mean a great day. I meant have a great night, because it's 11:30 now. Y'all have a great night.